Big developments in the Phoenix Police Department. Thanks for joining us for ABC 15 at 6. I'm Steve Irvin.
And I'm Katie Rammel. Officers fired after being involved in controversial incidents that sparked national outrage. One happened back in May when officers responded to a shoplifting call. A man handcuffed up against a police car, his legs swept out from under him. All while a gun was pointed at his pregnant fiancée and young children.
The other incident involving social media posts that were viewed as offensive, racially biased, and violent. Those posts were outlined in the Plainview Project. And let's get right out to our Carla Navarrete with more details on what happened today.
Well, the chief of police sending a message out to the community that she will not tolerate actions like those of the officers on that May 27th incident in which they are seen yelling profanities at a pregnant mother and also drawing their weapons. Police Chief Williams today saying the internal investigation into two officers involved in that May 27th incident that captured national attention, Officer Christopher Meyer and the other officer, those investigations have been finalized. The second officer, the Disciplinary Review Board, or what is referred to as the DRB, gave that second officer a written reprimand. But for Officer Christopher Meyer, her decision was very different.
The DRB recommended the second officer receive a 6-week unpaid suspension. But the decision on discipline is mine. And after meeting with Officer Chris Meyer personally and considering all the facts of the case, I have notified him of my intention to terminate his employment.
The other case Chief Williams addressed today, social media posts by officers that came to light in the summer of this year. 72 officers were investigated, and out of the 72, Detective David Swick was terminated. Again, Chief Williams going further than what the review board recommended.
Of the remaining 11, Detective Dave Swick has been advised that I will terminate his employment. 1 received a 40-hour suspension, 4 received 24-hour suspensions, 4 received 8-hour suspensions, and there is still 1 case remaining that has yet to be finalized.
It is important to mention that while the review board makes recommendations, it is ultimately up to the chief what disciplinary action is taken. For now, reporting in downtown, I'm Carla Navarrete, ABC 15 News, Arizona.
A lot of eyes on this decision. You just saw it on World News. Meantime, the department's decision is receiving a lot of reaction tonight as well. Mayor Kate Gallego sending us this statement, quote, "The chief was clear in her message that public safety officers will be held accountable for actions that do not reflect the values of the police department. We're continuing to move forward with modernizations to strengthen the department and community trust."
And the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association, also known as PLE, says it has a complete understanding of the position Chief Williams is in as the leader of the department. However, it does not agree with both of the terminations and does plan to appeal both.
And Phoenix Councilman Sal DeCiccio posting on Facebook saying in part, quote, "Make no mistake, firing these officers because of Facebook posts and bad language is not justice. This is nothing more than the city of Phoenix giving in to mob rule." For clarification, only Detective Swick was fired. In the case involving social media posts, 9 others were suspended.
The chief herself made the announcement about the firing these officers as her department works to repair its reputation and rebuild trust in the community. Our team coverage continues now with ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius, who's looking at how we got to this point.
Violent and racist. It's a bad look for the Phoenix Police Department. After 72 officers were accused of offensive posts on social media, and 2 other officers were caught on video kicking shoplifting suspect Drayvon Ames and pointing guns at his pregnant fiancée and kids.
It was just a scary situation. I never thought I'd be in. Traumatizing for me and my daughter.
These images spread across the nation 4 months ago, bringing dishonor to the badge. Within days, Chief Jerry Williams made public apologies and promised full investigations.
I'm sorry that this incident happened. I apologize to the family. I apologize to the community.
We are outraged at the conduct of Phoenix police officers.
But this huge community meeting in mid-June showed how bad the damage was. Trust in policing had seriously eroded, especially in low-income and minority neighborhoods.
My son was the 3rd victim of that police officer.
Feeling the public pressure this summer, Mayor Kate Gallego and Chief Williams sped up the rollout of body-worn cameras. There's also a new policy about documenting every time an officer points a gun at a person. And a citizen committee is looking at the feasibility of several other policing proposals. Meantime, internal investigations progressed on 12 officers who made online posts and 2 officers from the shoplifting incident. In the last few days, the officers learned their punishments.
I made my decision because I know that the trust was eroded and that the brand called the Phoenix Police Department was tarnished.
In firing 2 officers, the chief sent a message to her department about what she will not tolerate. But will it be enough to help build trust in the communities where it was lost? I'm investigator Melissa Blasius, ABC 15 Arizona.
Today, the Ames Harper family calling the firing of Officer Meyer a bittersweet victory. The family holding their own news conference shortly after Phoenix police. They say they've waited for justice for how they were treated that day and say this announcement is a step in the right direction.
Everybody has a job to do, and he didn't do his job right, so that's why he's in the position he's in. Everybody has to be held accountable, and I guess they're starting to hold people accountable now.
The family has filed a notice of claim for $10 million. The family's attorney says the city agreed to a mediation, which is now scheduled for December 18th.
Before today's big announcement on these firings, another Phoenix officer was fired. Sergeant Daniel Jones fired this morning following an internal investigation. Phoenix police are staying tight-lipped about exactly why Jones was fired. We do know he is still under criminal investigation, but the department isn't revealing exactly what he's accused of doing. A previous ABC 15 report found Jones was sued several times, including by a fellow officer over alleged misconduct. Our coverage of these big announcements within the Phoenix Police Department doesn't end here. We're going to have much more coming up at 6:30. And as always, you can get updates anytime on abc15.com and our free ABC 15 mobile app.
The state prison system now has